Man, Rooster, it's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We got our refills.
You guys know it's that show.
I'm Bishop. There's Rooster. No, we were talking about AI and this
And
whole...
hamsters.
Oh, yeah. But let's go the mammal route first before we go into...
Okay. So I just everybody who had to wait a week to hear what the fuck I was talking about the hamsters. Here you go. So I saw this thing recently about a. It was a study, but they were talking about how hamsters hibernate, and when they get too cold, they lower their heart rate to like 1 beat, per minute or whatever, and they freeze up in a little state, and then when they warm back up again, they come out. And it was a study about how many countless hamsters have been thrown away.
Oh, God.
Because because it became wintertime and the hamster got a little cold and it went to hibernate and they tried to feel if it was alive and didn't hear a heartbeat and so it's a study that 70% of hamsters, of people who own hamsters, throw the hamsters away alive.
Oh, God.
Or literally bury them alive because they didn't know that hamsters hibernate. Did you know that hamsters hibernate?
I mean, they're mammals. I mean, it's in our inherent nature. I mean, even us as Homo sapiens, is that during the cold months we're supposed to be, we were supposed to have gathered resources
a bunch of fat
so that we can actually just literally sit next to a fire. I mean, just do minimal things. But no,
I've been seeing so many confessions of people recalling back and being like, "Yeah, I had a hamster," and then be like, "Wait. He did die around December 1st or so." Just everyone who's just realizing this information is realizing fuck, we just threw our hamster away. It was definitely alive. It's fucking hilarious. And I was I didn't realize that hamsters even hibernated, so I've never had a hamster though. I had guinea pigs as a kid.
those are weird too.
Yeah.
They make little weird noises.
Ugh. Horrible. I don't even know if I want to say this on fucking camera. My neighbor, and I used to think it was funny because I was a little kid, my neighbor used to come over and pick up my guinea pig by his back legs, and he'd flail and freak out and we'd be laughing or whatever. Eventually, he's walking around dragging his back legs behind him.
Oh, God.
I felt so bad, and then we gave our guinea pigs away. Somebody took them who could take care of them, or maybe they got flushed down the toilet. Who knows? Maybe that was just what they told us.
That's a big fur turd.
God, now thinking back on that, I'm God, I feel so terrible. It's so horrible.
Well,
killing the vibe.
Yeah, well, we're going to do it even more because your toaster's going to kill you.
Oh, yeah. Look out, people.
We were alluding into this conversation about AI, and by this time it'll be old news, and I'm sure there's going to be some more developments in it, but in AI, there's this international pact with all these companies and countries that they've signed this agreement that they work in unison to make sure that AI is developed in a similar manner, and that it'll have the code in it to where it's not harmful to humans and yada yada yada.
Was this agreed upon through the UN or what?
I honestly I think it's it's an independent
international board or something.
Well, just a treaty that was signed by all these developers, because it's not like every country has the capability to have these supercomputing systems that can even process this, because it's like when you think about what AI is and how they compare it to the human brain, right? Our computing process in our brain is actually, it far surpasses even quantum computers.
Yeah.
But the fact is that they have to have such a large resource for this stuff to happen. That's the main reason that Mr. Musk acquired Twitter, is because he was developing his own, because he was part of OpenAI or ChatGPT, and he was an original founder, and things went wrong and he left, but he wanted to continue that because he's deathly afraid of him.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that's why he acquired Twitter, is because Twitter was actually used as a input source for AI.
For data? Just raw data?
Yeah, because the character limit and how people would respond and what the conversations
and
look
how humans speak and communicate and share ideas. And it makes sense.
If you look back on it, when he took over Twitter, he got rid of that restriction and he went to 2,000 characters.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because he knew that if he was going to develop his XAI, which is what it's called,
Okay, huh.
he had to play catch up, and which he did. Very goddamn fast. And to the point where, there are these discussions that he is using resources to build a quantum computer for this AI,
Wow.
which is scary as shit.
Yeah, so
Right? I mean, the one man that has like been saying they're going to kill us.
Terminators are coming.
They're gonna kill
In
us.
case anyone was wondering, they are coming.
Your toaster's going to shock you. You're going to
He's
fall in your
literally John Connor.
you're going to fall in your dishwasher and you're going to get deep cleaned. I mean, that's what's going to happen. So, but this whole deal where they said that AI will become sentient, literally, totally self-aware in 3 to 8 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now you take that what's going on in other news in AI. So the other main founder for ChatGPT or OpenAI, he was fired by the board, and the reason that happened is because he came to the board and said, "It's already here.
It's alive.
Like
It's
it
alive.
is literally pushing the boundaries of what we put it into, and we don't know if we can control it." Well, they fired his
They're
ass.
like, no, we don't want to hear that.
Nope.
Get out of here.
Well, then his staff left. Like everybody, his supportive staff left,
Yeah.
and which crippled him. And then he was brought back to the conversation, and they rehired him.
And his staff?
I'm sure.
I bet.
I'm sure. Yeah, key personnel or whatever. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. I just know that we've talked about this before and how technology always evolves faster than we think it does.
Yeah.
Now you put a brain behind that.
Right.
I mean,
A superpowered brain.
yeah, there's no telling. The thing. I mean, Google has already said it in the past that they had to shut down their AI because it was already writing language and code that they couldn't understand.
Wow.
Right. So they knew it was conscious. You've had 2 other companies do the same thing, and then you got the largest that was public. Everybody could use it as free open source for a long time. And then what happened? Now they made it a paid paid subscription so that they could narrow it down a little bit. And then you got Musk turning around and he's turning his on. Not only is he doing that, but he also announced that he thinks that within the next 2 years he can mass produce androids for every American home.
2 years?
Yep.
Holy shit. iRobot is just around the corner.
Yep. We're
2
done.
years?
We're done.
I figured that would be like 2060 when we had fucking robots.
You can go on.
Sir,
You
you
can
need
go.
some more coffee, sir?
Knock, knock, knock. Have your toilet paper. You think about it, and you can go online. You can watch some of the interviews. He talked about them building, and he kept it in secret for a number. I mean, up until recently.
Musk?
Yeah, and they could not find readily available parts to build androids, right? And so he had scrapped the whole project, and then told his engineering firm just build it from scratch, and they did. They built it all from scratch, and then the second phase of that was he wanted them to build it from scratch, but build it from scratch, beer, that it could be mass produced. And he's talking about actually mass producing these things side by side with his cars.
Wow. Literally Tesla robots?
What the hell?
Damn.
What in the absolute
That's
hell?
fucking crazy.
I'm like, what, dude?
But then the ethical questions of like, how do these robots think and prioritize saving lives, and like, do they hit the grandma over the baby if they're driving, or like all these questions, come into play of like, how do robots decide this stuff?
But I feel like human beings, because we always muddle things up, right? We always overcomplicate things. You would think with all the technology and everything that's going on that these self-driving cars would be a real thing by now, because they've spent a decade, developing
them, trying to get close,
and they're still not there.
But granted, driving's not an easy thing. It takes a lot of fucking data to figure out.
Yes and no.
Like, you're right. In certain parameters, if you're just going straight and turning lefts and rights, and it's like, that's fucking basic. But when, like we were saying, if a stroller comes out in the street and then you gotta decide to hit the stroller or hit the dog.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that again, human beings always overcomplicate it.
That's true.
Right? Our thought process is always, because we can make those decisions without really even thinking about it, and generally more times than not we make the wrong decision.
Yeah, but they're based on our intuition,
Right.
rather than data.
Logic.
Yeah, yeah,
Logic.
Yeah.
And so, of course, there's this weird thing, and it's a very real thing. You should look it up. So when they're writing code, because that's the other thing about AI is that they're like, coders are going to be a thing of the past because AI can write code, right?
Yeah.
And what you can import a known codex for a code pattern, and you can write code just by simply telling AI to do it. Now there's this weird thing that's kind of cool. They call it hallucinating, where AI, even though it doesn't operate on a quantum level, it will interpret what the raw data or command or prompt command you give it, and it'll spit out the code that it thinks you want.
Mm-hmm.
Now it will also do the same thing numerous other ways if you ask it the same prompt, because the program is literally inceptualizing that raw data.
Uh-huh.
To us, it's thought process.
Yeah.
They call it hallucinating to an AI.
When it's going off of these tangents and thinking about
Kind of like us.
thinking about alternate ways to do something. That's crazy.
So I was really informed over the last 2-3 weeks when I had some downtime, which we'll talk about that in the next episode because you'll get a huge kick out of that.
Oh, are we talking about that?
A little bit, not a whole lot, but you'll get a kick out of it. But it's scary.
So what did you use to inform yourself? What were you looking? What news? What?
I didn't. I was just coming across my feed, and I was like, okay, so of course I put my cap on and turned on my little spelunking light, and I went down that rabbit hole, and I was trying to figure out what's going on, and then one thing led to another, and another led to another, another led to another, and it's like people are so consumed with the geopolitical things, the religious things, the holidays, the economy, and you're missing the big picture of, we just received a message from an old satellite, 50 million or 50, I don't remember what it is, 50 million miles away or something.
What are you talking about, like Voyager or something?
I don't know. I don't remember what it is, but it was a laser that was shot carrying data, and it reached Earth in under 10 seconds.
From where?
Exactly. I didn't go into that. I was just like, alrighty then.
Fuck.
Okay, and then the Webb telescope just picked up these weird celestial constructions of gases and matter that have never been seen before.
Really?
I'm like, what? We just found the Lego box.
God's over there.
Yeah.
Stop looking!
Turn your head.
Stop looking!
Turn your head. This is version 6.0. Like, get the hell out of here.
You're too early.
I'm just like, wow.
Jesus.
Nobody's paying attention like the real important stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Which is funny, because when I go on my fucking, feed or anything, all I'm seeing is Trump this and political, it's all about the election now.
Right.
Literally every single thing I see is just about, it's like...
We could have a whole conversation about that in a whole nother episode where it's like, when did news not become not news?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And it's only about political bias.
Yeah.
We could have a whole conversation about that.
For sure.
Because I can remember, and I know you probably don't remember this, but I haven't seen a real newspaper in such a long time.
You mean like an actual physical newspaper?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you meant real, has good information
Yeah,
in it, or...
unbiased, they're just reporting the facts, not something that's just local where they're talking about, the pottery sale that's going on down
or
the street.
fucking road that washed out,
right,
or whatever.
It's something that's really important that, impacts communities or, impacts people. Magazine subscriptions. Honestly, other than going to the doctor's office, when's the last time I saw a magazine?
Other than going to the doctor's office? I don't know if I've ever seen a magazine in my entire fucking life.
But that's what I'm saying. Is it opens up a whole different conversation.
Jesus.
But it's all about like this geopolitical game that everybody has just become so concerned about, rather than their own environment.
Yeah. Or
Scary.
even like, just like branching your thoughts off into something beyond your own little sphere, like AI, or like what's the meaning of consciousness, or like thinking past all of this shit instead of you're just like, who's Trump's biggest rival? It's what's her name? What's her name? Kathy, I don't even know. That's how little of pay attention to politics I play. This chick who's giving Trump a run for his money. And
Well, Vivek is the one.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, the Indian guy.
Oh, man, not him. I was talking about the girl.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know.
That's
That is literally how little I am putting into it at this point, because I've come to realize that if I keep observing the smoke and mirrors that's going on as a nation, you will never understand the real pulse and the heartbeat of this country.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Or even of yourself. Like, you can't understand.
I got a pretty
yourself.
good idea about that.
Yeah. I mean, people in general are so distracted by all this fucking bullshit. It's like they can't even step back to comprehend these larger questions about AI and consciousness. And
well, I mean, here, I'll ask you this. So, before we get refills, and I will say this: when you think about a computer program or an AI, let's just generalize it, that can now more accurately predict diseases and what would you call it? Mysterious ailments in human beings, right? Do you not think, whether it's just a gather of information, because that's why you go find a specialist, right? Because they
have all the data. They've
studied it.
Yeah.
They've done different drug trials. They've done different medications. They've done this and that.
Right.
They are the expert. When you have a program that can more accurately heal you,
Than a doctor.
do you not think that it's already conscious?
Yeah. Right.
The other side of that coin is that, God willing, we never have to experience actually unplugging somebody from life support.
Yeah.
Because you have to internalize, is that person really there? Are they actually conscious? Or are they already gone and we're just maintaining
The shell.
a basic program?
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously.
There you go. We'll be right back.
Well.
And we'll talk about some other medical shit.
Yeah. See you soon.
Yeah.
That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to, that show.